Hello and welcome to the VERIS Community Database project. If you are here, we hope it is because you are interested in participating. Our project's goal is to gather and codify into VERIS format as many publicly disclosed data breaches as possible. Here you can see our Github Repository, where we keep both the data after it has been coded, so people can use it for research, and the candidate articles that are waiting to be coded up. Now, there's two ways to participate in this open source project, and the first, which we're covering right here, is finding new data breach articles and submitting them for consideration. So to do this, all you really need is a GitHub user ID. Now, we use the issues feature here to track articles that we're considering, and it keeps track of each record that's waiting to be coded, and it allows people to add additional sources and make comments prior to the record being coded. Now, once the record is coded, if a change is identified, we submit an update record to handle that change. Okay, so say for example that I've got a new data breach article identified, and I want to determine if the breach already exists in the issues list or in the data set before I create a new record. Now, the record I have is on the Boxy TV breach. So first, I'd search on the name of the organization to see if anything comes up, and you can see here that we already have a record of this. Now, that's fine, but I don't see that either of these two are actually the source I was using. So I will take a quick copy of the URL and paste it in here and add it as a comment so that whoever winds up doing this is going to have 3 now resources to code from. Okay? So let's look at another one. I also have one that's from the United Kingdom. So I'll type the name again of the organization. Now, I don't remember the name, and it's kind of hard to remember to spell it correctly, so I like to copy and paste it. And you can see here that I can just copy in here. Now, we don't see anything coming up in the issues list because that usually pops up first. So I want to make sure to search, because this also will search the code, the JSON records that we've already got, to see if there's anything in there. And it's not coming up with anything, so that means it's a good candidate, and I'd like to add it. So, new issue. And what I usually do is I put the title of the article in here, because it's so much easier just to copy and paste, but it doesn't have the name of the organization involved, and I put that in here so that specifically in the subject line, so that when I do a search it comes up really easily. Okay, and if it wasn't in here, of course our searches would be much less effective, so that's really important to do. And then you just paste it in here as far as the URL goes. Now, we use tags. This is a breach candidate. We also take a look at other types of things like defacements and that sort of thing. So we prioritize the coding, though, of the breaches because we really want to get those into the data set. So it's a breach, and then if you look here, it was actually an error where someone accidentally sent a spreadsheet with data that they shouldn't have sent. So we actually use these tags to sort of categorize, if we have time, the high-level action category from VERIS. And so we use that. And then you just submit the new issue. Okay? So a couple of things to look at here. If we go back, this is our new record, you can see. If we go back to our issues list, you see our issue is here, and it's got our tags. Then there's, scrolling down the list, there's a couple other tags that you might want to look at. Needs details is one. So this Costco breach article, it was the only one I found. It's a blog. There's not very many details, and we get this with breaches sometimes where, you know, the details are kind of sketchy and we want to sort of let it flesh out. And for some of the breaches, the bigger ones, you also see there's a lot of misinformation that comes out initially, and then later on when everything settles out, and we've got lots of references here, then we'll remove the needs detail tag. But until then, if you do wind up also participating in the coding of incidents, then you need to know that anything that has a needs detail is not considered eligible for coding until we determine that we can take that tag off. And then the other thing, I mentioned that we do a record update if we find something where, there's more information. Sometimes the number of records, for instance, will be updated, and it's already been coded into either Survey Gizmo or already put into JSON. And then we just do an update record to sort of track that as well, where it needs to have the additional information added to the record. So those are the two main things you're going to see. Here you have all of the labels that we use. And so that's basically contributing candidate articles to this open source project, and we really hope that you'll consider participating. The next video we put up is going to be the second half of this, where basically if you want to code issues into VERIS, it'll walk you through how to do that. And we hope you'll be interested in participating. Thank you.